On Thursday, the White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, read a statement she said that had been given to her by President Trump. The president said that whatever he was going to decide to do with Iran,
I will make my decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks.
Less than 48 hours later, he directed B-2 bombers to carry out strikes on Iran. In the more than 14 years that I've been covering President Trump as a political figure, he is known to be influenced by whoever he spoke to last. So when he said within 2 weeks, it seemed like he was once again buying some time. It turns out that it was almost entirely a misdirection. He had largely made that mind up, and an attack plan was well underway. The week before the U.S. strikes were put in place, the president was actually having some indecision, at least about exactly what he would do. Inside the White House, President Trump governs with a very tiny committee of about a half dozen people who are truly in the room with him, who shared his stated anti-interventionist view. A prolonged foreign conflict was not in the U.S.'s best interest. But it became clear that President Trump wanted to stick with a red line he has articulated repeatedly over the past decade, which is that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
Senior administration officials were not aware of any new intelligence suggesting Iran was racing toward building a bomb, but Israel's action forced Trump's thinking.
And as a result, by the time last week began, preparations were already well underway for the military to engage in a strike against Iran. So while all of these preparations are underway, President Trump starts posting. He basically threatens Iran. He praises the Israeli military strikes. He suggests Iran has final dwindling hours to try to come to the table. When he was talking to reporters, he said he might do it. He might not do it.
I mean, nobody knows what I'm going to do.
And he also might decide at the last possible second what exactly he was going to do. Now, for the people inside the Pentagon who actually have to plan and carry out this kind of an elaborate strike, these public statements by the president were concerning. They were alerting Iran to what the U.S. was up to. Some military officials were concerned the biggest threat to operational security was actually the president himself. To counter all of this concern, the Pentagon set up a decoy operation of B-2s that flew west out of a base in Missouri. The real B-2s used in this operation actually headed east. Similarly, the president announced his within 2 weeks deadline. Ultimately, the White House kept the fact that the strike was taking place hidden until President Trump announced that they had happened himself on social media. President Trump had expressed real interest in having negotiations with Iran, and he still now expresses hope publicly and privately that Iran will come to the table. But over the weekend, Iran's foreign minister suggested that was not particularly appealing given what had just taken place.
We never trusted Western countries when we negotiated them, and there are now even more reasons why we shouldn't trust them at all.
It's also hard to see how much more interested Iran will be, given that Trump, late Sunday afternoon, suggested that regime change in Iran might actually not be a bad thing after all.